Breaking news on WSB tonight. Campus unrest has led to this. You are looking live right now at 11 o'clock as police in New York City, Columbia University, arrest some of the protesters. Tonight, we're learning another Georgia college is about to join in the protests.
Tonight, the Georgia students now suspended for protesting and how free speech protections play a role.
New developments in the mysteries surrounding a missing woman. That woman's boyfriend was in court while the boyfriend's wife faces questions from police.
We just found out that he was married. We didn't know.
The message from her family as they wonder, where is she?
And a violent arrest that has 2 Cobb County police officers off the force.
Freeze those families!
What those officers put in their report that had investigators asking questions only on WSB tonight.
A lot to get to tonight. Thanks for being here. I'm George Estevez.
Hello, I'm Wendy Corona. So let's get right to that breaking news. You are looking live right now as dozens, maybe even hundreds of police officers move in on Columbia University's campus to break up the pro-Palestinian protests there. You see they have someone under arrest. Columbia students are under a shelter-in-place order right now.
CBS 6 News starts now.
This is a very serious time for the country. We're not playing games here. The world is on fire because of all the things that we've talked about today.
Speaker Johnson here speaking out amid nationwide pro-Palestine protests. His announcement for the universities and why he may need future Democratic support.
Another attack on New York law enforcement officers. What led up to the incident out of Jefferson County?
Niskayuna School District still feeling the heat as parents divided over school resource officers. How the superintendent's reacting to these concerned families.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday, everybody. I'm Lara Bryn.
And I'm Julia Dunn.
After student protests broke out for the last 2 nights, coming up, what the University of Utah is saying about potential disruptions to graduation ceremonies.
We have a closer look at what police said the University of Utah did to end this week's protest on campus.
Students in Utah County will return to school in just a few hours for the first time since yesterday's bomb threat hoax.
Live, streaming, and on the KUTV app. This is KUTV 2 News This Morning.
Well, welcome to 2 News This Morning. It is 5 o'clock now on this Wednesday. Happy May Day.
Right now on KVU Midday, a live look outside as chances for severe weather in central Texas are here later today. Grace Thornton will have the storm timeline in her forecast.
And groups that planned on protesting on the UT campus again today, posting that those protests are canceled. What we know so far.
And body cam footage showing a former Williamson County deputy assaulting a woman during a traffic stop. The former deputy now pleading guilty to criminal charges related to that 2019 incident.
And a good Wednesday morning to you, Central Texas. I'm Hannah Rucker.
And I'm Adam Bennett. Jenny Lee is on assignment. Thank you so much for joining us this midday.
Let's go.
Today, protests continue on college campuses nationwide and right here in Metro Atlanta, where students are expected to walk out of classes.
A blackout for Braves baseball, why Comcast subscribers can no longer watch the Bravos. The latest on the failed agreement that's going to leave you scrambling to find the game on TV today.
And it is finally that time of year. Georgia's burn ban officially in effect now. We'll explain what you need to know over the next few months.
11 Alive News Midday starts now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to 11 Alive Midday now at 11 a.m. I'm Aisha Howard.
And I'm Cheryl Preheim. And today we continue our coverage of protests impacting campuses over much of our state. We're expecting students to walk out any moment now at SCAD, Savannah College of Art and Design. 11 Alive's Bobeth Yates is there right now. Bobeth, what are things looking like so far out there?
Often. But first, campus protest. The library at Portland State University remains occupied and the campus shut down. What police and the school are saying tonight. That and your first alert forecast all ahead on the 5 o'clock news.
Good evening and welcome to the 5 o'clock news. I'm Pete Ferryman. Riel is off. It is day 3 of a pro-Palestinian protest at Portland State University that has left the school's main library vandalized while prompting administrators to close the entire campus for safety reasons.
Les saludamos a las 5:30 y sin preámbulos comenzamos esta edición con noticias de última hora. Foley Square en el Bajo Manhattan se ha convertido en el nuevo epicentro de una manifestación multitudinaria contra la guerra en Gaza.
Estamos viendo imágenes en nuestro helicóptero 47 y estas protestas en las universidades estadounidenses se han desarrollado desde el ataque de Hamas el 7 de octubre al sur de Israel y han persistido durante casi 8 semanas de guerra. Sin embargo, meses de guerra, sin embargo, las movilizaciones se intensifican desde hace 2 semanas.
Now at 6, protesters coming to another college campus. Meanwhile, some students feel targeted.
Pieces calling for coexistence, which is just not what's happening.
We take you inside an anti-war demonstration as calls for peace echo. Signs posted, now they're coming down. The program designed to beautify the Show Me State getting the axe.
Those adopt a highway signs will be coming down soon. There's a new plan for cleaning up highway litter.
What was once a house, now a pile of bricks and lumber.
It was just a matter of time.
But this property has long been under the microscope.
It's an eyesore, it's a nuisance, breeds trouble.
First Alert 4 asked what's the holdup on knocking down crumbling buildings.
Live, First Alert 4 starts now.
First tonight at 6, from WashU in St. Louis to Mizzou in Columbia, anti-war protests are popping up all across Missouri and around the country.
At issue, the Israel-Hamas war that's resulted in thousands of people dead. Tonight, the calls for a ceasefire are moving onto St. Louis University's campus.
Live, local, late breaking. 13 News starts right now.
Protesters against the war in Gaza returned to the University of Arizona for a 3rd straight day after a chaotic night of arrests and clashes with police.
Charges filed in a crash that killed a Tucson police officer. We'll tell you what the driver is facing.
Until we have a better choice in this matter, I side with saving more babies' lives. I want to protect our state constitution from unlimited abortions.
But first, emotions run high at the state capitol, culminating in a historic vote on abortion.
I want to protect our state constitution.
Thank you for joining us for 13 News Live at 6. I'm Brooke Wagner.
And I'm Dan Maries.
This is 7 News at 6:30.
Now at 6:30, we begin with the question on many minds tonight. Will it be a calmer night on campuses from coast to coast as protests continue to take over colleges?
It was anything but silent last night when violence broke out between demonstrators and police at several university campuses. Hello again and good evening. At least 2 campuses have been cleared out in a police crackdown.
But those demonstrations are not stopping. 7's Jack Royer begins our team coverage live from the Newsplex. Jack.
And that's right. The NYPD has its hands full today, and they have for several days now after being asked by the city of New York and by these colleges to remove protesters from various college campuses.
Protests over the Israel-Hamas war happening here in southern Nevada. The latest on demonstrations at UNLV's campus.
And temperatures throughout the region currently in the low to mid 80s with wind speeds cooperating as well. But we've got changes on the way. I'll let you know when these wind speeds will be up and our temperatures will be down in your local Las Vegas forecast. That's only moments away.
A costly smash and grab at a local race car shop. I'll tell you what happened according to the folks who were there to find this.
We are local Las Vegas. Fox 5 News starts now.
And first on Fox 5, we continue to follow developing news in the West Valley.
ABC 10 News at 7 starts now.
Right now, students at UC San Diego are setting up tents like we have seen on other college campuses across the country. This is a live look from our crew on campus. Students say they will stay put until their demands about the university's response to the Israel-Hamas war are met. Good evening. I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I am Wale Aliyu. ABC 10 News reporter Ryan Hill is there in La Jolla with how UCSD is responding to this growing new camp.
Live from Dallas-Fort Worth, this is WFAA News.
And breaking tonight at 6, we are staying on top of an evolving situation at UT Dallas. You can see a live look right there as some of the law enforcement officials start to move out from the campus. Police officers and sheriff's deputies moved in earlier to dismantle an encampment at the campus in Richardson. And earlier, we did see those deputies pulling down tents and making several arrests in the past few hours.
Tonight, we have team coverage of this developing story. Janelle Fort and Sydney Persing are on the ground watching this all unfold. Jobin Paniker at the Collin County Jail, where protesters are being booked right now.
Let's start with Janelle, who has been on campus for well over an hour now. What's happening, Janelle?
Now at 6:30, breaking news. Protests continue at campuses across the country and here in Boston. Details as schools warn students they'll take action.
Also breaking, newly released video shows a man pulling a gun on police in Rainhelm before officers shot him.
And the Celtics looking to advance in the NBA playoffs tonight. Fans descending on the Garden for the Game 5 matchup against the Miami Heat.
7 News at 6:30 starts now.
First up here at 6:30, breaking news. Pro-Palestinian protesters gathering at Emerson College. Sky 7 up above the crowd. This was them just this afternoon. Demonstrators have now cleared out.
The protest at Emerson is just one of many protests that has happened across the country today. 7's Rob Roy live in Boston with those breaking details for us.
Fox 28 News at 10 starts now.
First tonight at 10, crowds again gathered on Ohio State's campus for pro-Palestinian protests. Nearly a week after dozens were arrested for criminal trespassing.
The protests have been growing on college campuses across the country. Just last night, we showed you the chaos at Columbia University. Officials at OSU hoping to avoid that kind of situation by adding new precautions.
Stephanie Dupre has been on campus all night long monitoring the situation. She joins us there now from a quiet oval.
WUSA 9 News at 11 starts right now with the situation unfolding on several college campuses.
Yeah, intense clashes between police and pro-Palestinian demonstrators. Thank you for being here with us. I'm Lorenzo Hall.
And I'm Leslie Foster. This is the biggest crackdown we've seen since these protests began. Police have arrested more than 400 protesters in the last 24 hours, according to CNN's count. You're looking at some video from some of those confrontations, and a few even turned violent.
Okay, so a very stark contrast to what we're seeing here in D.C. at George Washington University. Students are on day 7 of protesting.
And protests not dying down as protesters and police clash on college campuses. Ahead, the impact demonstrations on some school grounds are having inside the classroom.
Festival by the Water, Port Neches Riverfest, off and running. KFDM's Aaron Mack in minutes showing what's drawing a large crowd on this first night of fun.
Live from the KFDM studios, you're watching KFDM 6 News tonight at 10.
Good evening, everyone. It's 10 o'clock. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Aaron Drawhorn.
And I'm Kimberly Roosley.
The killing just needs to stop. I think any rational person would agree that, needless killing is unacceptable.
New at 10, dueling Israel and Palestine demonstrations at the University of Alabama. How students are voicing their beliefs as protests continue across the country.
Plus, Selma's police chief placed on leave following shootings and threats, while the mayor believes the city's top cop failed to protect and serve.
And the scandal surrounding a beloved Vestavia Hills principal continues, where the school board wants to send her after she was placed on leave for months.
This is WVTM 13. Breaking news is happening right now.
And that breaking news, state troopers are investigating a shooting involving Bessemer police officers.
Investigators say Devin Thomas was caught trying to commit burglary last night when he tried to run away from police.
First, fast, accurate. You're watching WSBT 22 News at 11 with John Paul and Juliana Ferrari.
Palestine will be free! Palestine will be free!
Thanks for staying up with us at 11. Pro-Palestinian protesters in South Bend taking their message to the streets, calling for an end to the violence in the Middle East.
Tonight, calm on Tulane's Uptown campus.
I feel safe. I feel like they handled it very well.
After police broke up a demonstration that had lasted for days.
It is not over with the end of a semester.
We were there as more than a dozen more arrests were made.
After a claim that went viral.
The rats eating our marijuana, they're all high.
New Orleans police are preparing to set up shop in their new headquarters. And ahead of hurricane season, a number of other first responders plan to move too.
We are watching a chance for some scattered showers and storms both Thursday and Friday.
They're back. If you haven't been outside, you might want to watch out. Termites are swarming once again. This is WWL Louisiana News at 10.
Protests on Tulane's campus have come to an end after law enforcement moved in on the pro-Palestinian encampment.
Our crews were on the lawn as multiple demonstrators were arrested. Tonight we have more on what happened. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Devin Bartolotta.
And I'm Sharice Gibson. The protests lasted nearly 3 days, mirroring outcries at campuses around the country.
New developments out of Charlotte surrounding the deadly officer shooting, with President Biden planning to make a visit this week. Protests are filling college campuses across the nation. We take you live to the latest local college joining this national movement.
Covering the Triad and beyond. This is ABC 45 News at 6.
Good evening and thank you for joining us at ABC 45 News at 6. I'm Ashley Paredes. Well, we have so much to cover today, but we'll first send it over to Chief Meteorologist Jonathan Went with your no-wait weather. Jonathan.
Live on your side, WBTV News starts right now.
These are people who were serving and protecting me and my family, and you and your family.
Tonight, vigils and tributes all over the city honoring the 4 officers killed in the line of duty in Monday's ambush. Also ahead,
I haven't driven by it. I don't really want to see it.
And the man who captured this footage shares how the traumatic situation he witnessed is still affecting him. Also, see how new legislation could protect you when it comes to warranties for your appliances. But first tonight, more signs of appreciation and respect for the fallen officers from Monday's ambush. Drone 3 captured these shots of a billboard just off 277, honoring them with the Queen City in the background.
Now at 6 this morning, a Central Georgia family lost their home to a fire just 2 weeks after the mother died from medical issues. Find out how it happened and how you can get them back on their feet.
And Cochrane making changes to the water system, last updated over 50 years ago, with the details on how much the city is getting from the government.
Today, 2 Central Georgia officers who died in the line of duty will be honored by state officials, including Governor Brian Kemp. We'll share details about the men next.
And looking live over the Georgia National Fairgrounds, the sun beginning to come up. First light in the sky as temperatures soar near 90. Checking out the forecast straight ahead.
13 WMAZ morning starts now. Good Wednesday morning, everybody. We're back at 6 o'clock. I'm Frederick Price.
I'm Caitlin Heck.
And I'm meteorologist Alex Ford.
I got a little choked up in the open because we are entering May with such warm temperatures. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's just I could see the bubble pop up above his head.
The rats eating our marijuana, they're all high.